May you find happiness and peace, and may your home stand the test of time.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mary. Today I'll be reacting to Kirk destroying naive socialists. So without further ado, let's get started.
Economic and social equality. I don't know really what that means, but maybe you could tell me.
Interesting. Yeah, it means that like all people kind of get the same opportunities. in
Like
life.
Cuba? Or like Venezuela?
No, not like Cuba or Venezuela.
Or like North Korea?
No, not like.
Or like how the Soviet Union did it, right?
No, I'd like you to stop like interrupting me. I think that all those examples of like capitalist systems are ones that aren't.
The Soviet Union was not a capitalist system.
Yes, I know. And Venezuela is not a socialist system.
Sure it is. They nationalized their oil and gas reserves. They have nationalized healthcare, nationalized schooling. The government owns the means of production. How is it not a socialist country?
Because because of the history of U.S. interference, socialism cannot be like enacted as it should be.
It also sort of functions under the guise of socialism. I think a lot of the
Venezuela is still
corrupt.
corrupt as
Yeah, can you show me any socialist country that works?
yeah, most of Europe.
So maybe Norway, Sweden, or Finland?
Yeah.
But they're more economically free than America.
How so?
On the World Economic Freedom Index, they're ranked higher than America.
And so what does that like mean?
So lower taxes, less regulation. So they're not, I wouldn't consider them to be socialist countries.
They provide healthcare for all their citizens.
So does Cuba. How does that work?
I'm sure
because they're like
Norway, Sweden, Finland also has a homogenous population.
Oh, I want to know about this.
yeah,
Why do
yeah.
you think? Why is that sort of thing
Yeah.
promoted?
Because it's 6 to
that
7
you need
million people.
They need a homogenized society.
You don't need it
But what is? I don't
Yeah,
even know
because
the
they
rationale.
have low rates of immigration.
Can you explain to me why?
And so they
like,
have less people coming in their country every year that need Medicaid equivalent type social programs.
Can you explain to me why
They have the
having
strictest immigration policies in Europe, in Norway, Sweden, Finland, and they don't pay for a national military. 70 to 80% tax rates for the highest earners, of which I oppose completely. Sweden has full school choice, which I'm sure you support, right?
I don't.
Oh, okay, but Sweden has full school choice.
I mean,
Sweden's also ranked higher on
if
the
all
world.
schools are funded equally, then yeah, I would support school choice. But the fact is that schools in like richer areas have better funding and thus give people better education, as opposed to poorer areas, and thus poor people who can't afford to like choose that rich school, who can't commute, who can't like afford the tuition, are not going to be able to get that level of education.
So why is it that we've spent more on education in the last 60 years federally, but our test scores have gotten worse?
Well, I think I love that question. Why are we spending more? Well, our test score have gotten worse because people are no longer competing. You know, when you get things for free, you tend not to put in the work anymore. But when you pay your school fees with your sweat, you tend to read more, tend to focus more on your education because you know what it takes you to pay your school fees per semester. And I think that is it, when you get things in a platter of gold, you don't really put in the work anymore. And, that is what Charlie is saying. Charlie is saying, sometimes you see this school that are way expensive, that are funded by, private individuals. You see that they employ more qualified staff because yeah, we are getting a whole lot of money. We're charging students a whole lot to pay school fees, so we have to deliver. So they employ more educated staff. They supervise their staff, make sure that their staff are delivering the best. And aside from that, they make sure that their children are really learning. It's not about you teaching and teaching. How are these children processing what you're teaching them? So when those students come out in the workforce, they are well equipped, they are well prepared because, starting from their school days, they're already going for internship, they're already doing things that, that will broaden their knowledge, prepare them for the workforce. I've seen how private school operates in Africa, and I've seen how public school operates. Everyone or every parents want to send their children to public schools because they feel like, every parents want to send their children to private school because they feel like that is where, their students learn more, they strive more, because now you see people that are willing to put in the work. You get more qualified staffs, because almost all the public school in Nigeria, I don't really see supervision, people supervising their lecturers, making sure that they are coming to school, or even checking how conducive their classroom is. You see a teacher teaching a student of like 500 to 600 in a class. Sometimes the students are standing simply because there is no seat. But you can never see that in a private institution. They make sure that their students are comfortable, their learning environment is cool and conducive. But in public institution, it's just like garbage in, garbage out. Everyone is just, forcing, before you can get a good viewing point, you have to make sure you are in the class like an hour or 2 hours before time. If you come to the class immediately, or let's say 30 minutes to your class, you won't have a good seat to sit. You will stand throughout, let's say, the 3 hours, duration of the class. And to me, I feel it's not nice. We have overpopulation in our government institution because maybe they are cheap. So people are just, power, like rushing in because they can afford the fees. But when you go to a private institution, like, things are done differently. And I don't know, but if government institutions are run better in outside, the shell of Africa, but if it's in Africa, I would definitely go for private institution. And not only education, even healthcare. When healthcare are being funded by the government, government try to give us, different discounts, bear most of the cost for healthcare. But are they really doing the job? Are your staff really coming to work? Because you see, private institution, they will never go on strike. They will always come to work because every month, like, they are being paid. But government institution, if government don't pay them, they are off. They are not coming anymore. They'll keep the life of people that need them at risk simply because they are not getting their wages. So I feel it's not right. This is the reason why government need to let go of some certain stuff and let private individual run them. Because I believe private individual can run them way better than government. That's just my personal take. Because if I have someone that is sick, that is critically in need of medical support, I'll prefer to take them to a private institution or a private hospital and spend the extra cash than risk going to a public institution where they will be neglected for, like, let's say 3 to 4 hours before they are being attended to. Well, I'm saying this because based on what Charlie said, Charlie made mention of overpopulation in the United States. Most time you don't get what you really want. So same issue we are facing in Nigeria. Nigeria, we are almost 300 million people. So imagine 300 million people, like, asking for medical help. Let's say in a day you get, like, let's say 50,000 or 100,000 that are critically ill, that need medical support. So how would the government take care of these people? It's better you have private institution that can help out, private healthcare that can help out. Sometimes even in Nigeria, before you get to college, it takes a very high procedure. You see, unlike some universities, some African university, or our neighboring university, like universities in Benin, university in Togo, university in Ghana, it is easier to get into college because they are not really overpopulated. We are 270 million, so on an average, we'll get, let's say, 3 million, 4 million students ready to go into college every month, or sorry, every year. That is why when you go to classroom, they are overpopulated because we don't have the infrastructure to accommodate all the students. Even when it comes to electrical, there are so many sectors that are lacking behind when the government runs them. So that is why sometimes government sells shares to private individuals, allow them to venture into this business so that they can help out. Because private individuals, so many of them have, the means to support, to own some of these businesses, to own hospitals, to own school, to own this, let's say, production of water supply, electricity and all. So if you give them the means, you end up reducing the workload from government. I know government is not going to make more money from it, but at least government is still going to tax those private institutions. But it will help, the government, the country flow better. When government give, let's say 50%, or let's say of opportunity for private individual to own the electrical part of the country, at least they will be able to focus more on what they manage. Anyway, that's a beautiful one. I love this, and I see every reason with Charlie. And the fact that socialist system work, you check the country. What is their population? Have you seen a country with over 100 million or over, let's say, 200 million practicing socialism? How does it work? Does it really function better? Or because the country is like 7 million, 5 million, you feel it functions? The lower the population, the more anything you do will strive. The higher the population, the more the government struggle. Anyway, like I said before, let me know what you think in the comment section. If it is your first time visiting the channel, click on the subscribe button. Thanks for watching and remain blessed.